Today I thought we'd start things off a little crappy. And we'll talk about this manure spreader that I just got on Saturday at a consignment sale. We have here a 471 spreader, and I'm not up on spreaders. I need to dig out some literature and stuff and look at when it was made and things, but I assume that this was in probably the 60s. It's still a wood-sided spreader, and anyway, it's very similar to the new idea spreaders that we've actually got one here too. But anyway, it doesn't look too bad, but when I hooked up the power takeoff, the first thing it did was break this chain. So I got to looking at it, and the gearbox seems fine. I think I need to work on getting some of the linkage unstuck. It doesn't seem to be declutching anything. But the biggest problem why it broke the chain is, upon closer inspection, this bearing is out in this beater here. So we're going to take that apart and see about getting a different bearing. I'll probably also investigate some better setup of bearings on this back spreader here, because it looks to me like the bearing that's there is just spinning in the holder, and I'm sure that that's probably not available anymore. So that's a project we're going to tackle here in just a little bit. This spreader is on the 20-inch truck tires, which was a common thing back then, because you could put used tires off your truck on the spreader and save some money on tires. And like I said, it looks like it's a pretty solid spreader, but it definitely needs some work. And the biggest thing is it's going to need is, this chain is way too long, so it's going to need adjusting, because it just practically drags the ground, and I don't think it's supposed to be quite that bad. The something's up here with springs. Somebody's got a farmer fix on there, so that's another thing that will need attention. But I have high hopes that I think it will spread again someday if I give it a little love. Before we tackle that bearing, I'll show you some of the other spreaders I've got. I've got two more spreaders, but they're all in pretty rough shape. So we'll go look at those now. This spreader here is a 280, and it's kind of a little spreader. And despite how bad it looks at first glance, it actually, everything works on it. So it really just needs a floor, and it needs this front piece of metal, which was rotted out when I got it. So other than that, I think I can, like over here, it's rusted out, but this really doesn't do anything other than keep manure out. So I can patch this fairly simply. But I had this hooked up last night too, and it still turns really easy. Everything works. The floor chain advances. It just is another thing that needs a little bit of love. This one's got the saw paddles on it, which they hyped up in the literature. That was a big thing. See, it turns real easy. Knocking my power takeoff shaft around up there. So I need to get the floor in this one, because this one would be another one that could spread without much effort. Anyway, 280, not a bad little spreader, just another project. So now we'll go look at the other one. This is, I believe, a Model 7 spreader. The tag is up here. I guess we can look. It doesn't really say Model 7, but the serial number is 7-. So this is another one that I think can be saved if I just take time to do it. It's definitely needs a floor, needs some patchwork around the bottom of the sides. Stuff still has movement in it, so I think that end down there needs freed up, but I thought I had everything. Yeah, that side turns, and it's chained to this back spreader. So I don't know why we can't go all the way around, but we'll figure that out someday when I tackle this. This isn't, is this stuck? I thought I had it moving a while ago, but anyway, I don't know if it'll ever spread again, but if it casts a shadow, it can be restored. It just depends on how much time and money you want to put into it. But I always kind of like these spreaders because of the sheet metal work with the raised ribs, and they look really sharp painted up. I thought if nothing else, do some body work on it and you could pull it behind in parades and things. But anyway, it's another project for one day when I live to be 300. Maybe I'll get all this done. But the floor chain's in there. I can't remember why the guy told me he quit using this. I think it was because the floor rotted out and then he tore the chain, and then it's just been sitting. And I saved it, and it's just been sitting, and I need to find some place to put stuff like this under cover to preserve it until I get around to fixing it. But anyway, Model 7 spreader, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know some of the old ones, if this was some of the old spreaders, and I think even the Model 7 were gold for a while. So, and they were, you know, back in the horse days, you could get them as 4-wheel spreaders. So, just interesting stuff maybe you haven't seen before. Okay, so step one to get to this bearing, we need to get this shield off of there. There's one bolt at the bottom and this bolt at the top, which will probably come out, but I know it'll come out with the tool that I'm going to use because the heat wrench always gets the bolts out. Some of you probably think that's a little wasteful to do that, but the shield needs work, and I'm not real worried about that coming off because it's kind of paper thin, so I can do better later. Now, we gotta get these chains off. There's one connector, and oh, there's the other one. So hopefully we can pull them apart without too much hassle. Okay, so one pin came out easy, as you see. This one was going to totally destroy itself. So what I like to do sometimes is hit it with just a little bit of heat and let it cool a second. And usually it'll loosen the pin back up that you can actually pull it out, so you don't have to take your punch and drive this out again. It's loose in there now. It's just a matter of getting it fed through. It'll come out of there. There we go. I'll probably have to get something to tap this through to make it easier. I think it'll come out. So we'll get that off, and then we'll work on these gears, which will be the real testament of skill, because I'm afraid we could easily destroy them. Maybe not. That one looks like it might move. So we'll just see. We'll get the chain off and then try that. Come on. There we go. All right. I'd say it hasn't moved in a while, seeing as how it's rested to the shape of the sprocket. So it's definitely time to give it some attention. Get this out of the way. Ooh, I think we're gonna make it with this one. I just clean this up a little bit so that it'll slide off of here. Get the dirt off, and I'll go get a wire brush and clean on it just to shade. I think we might have a chance. Oh, look at that. Be nice to just pull it off by hand, but maybe. So close. There we go. All it needed was a good pull. One down and one to go. We gotta check this one out and see. I wouldn't think that there's any, I don't know if there's a lock key in it or something. Well, the camera got a little close for comfort there to some flames, so hopefully it's not screwed up. But I thought I could heat the backside a little and pull some of the penetrating oil into the hub there. That seems to work. If you heat the backside and then put the oil on this side, so I think I'll try to pull it. There's a big enough spot back there to hook it to. I think I can do that without destroying something, but we'll find out. Now, all I can do is totally destroy it and make the whole thing a piece of scrap iron. So, if that's all that can go wrong, we might as well just go to it. I think we're gonna make it. It's moving. Alright, so that went a lot better than I thought it would. Now we've got to get this bearing off of here, locking collar, and try to get it pulled off of here. I'd rather not cut it just because of the fact that it's, I don't want to ruin the shaft, but I don't know. I might try to cut that locking collar off because I think I got enough space there I can keep from getting into the shaft. But like I said, the worst thing that can happen is turn it into scrap iron. So let's turn it again here. I think there's our key. Or I'll try to get that out of there and see if it comes off naturally, but I'm sure something along this process is going to have to give me a headache. I can't imagine that it's going to go smoothly the whole way, so I'm going to get some more stuff and we'll try. There we go. Come on. There we go. So, I don't know if you can see that or not, but this shaft is actually twisted a little bit. You can see the splines taking a curve there under the bearing. So, hopefully, that shouldn't be any problem. I mean, the bearing is round inside. It's not like it's splined. So, if we get it off of here, we should be able to slide the new one on with no problems, because the sprockets are, the splines under them are fine. So, we'll see what happens. we got it out of there, and it really wasn't too bad. I did end up having to cut that center off of there, but it didn't really hurt anything on the shaft, so that's okay. So I guess I'll try to find a new bearing after a while, and then maybe we can get this thing put back together. So that'll probably be about it for this video. So again, if you like the videos, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and try to watch them all the way to the end, because that's what YouTube likes for their little computer algorithm. So that helps me out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.